6 minutes without oxygen, that's all it takes for the human brain to shut down. Turns out it takes about that long to end the reign of a neighborhood tyrant, too. Picture this: a woman so wrapped up in her own self-importance, she tries to shake me down for $8,500 acting like she runs the block. But the punchline: her precious HOA office isn't even on her land. It's sitting right in the middle of my backyard. Now, arrogance, man, that'll make you blind as a bat. So there I am, Saturday morning, the kind of quiet that only retirees get to appreciate, sifting through city planning docs on my laptop, sipping coffee that's still steaming because old habits from 20 years working state transportation die hard. And just as I'm thinking about how lucky I am to have escaped office politics, I hear the unmistakable slam of car doors outside. I peek through the window. Here comes this lady, crisp navy suit, blonde hair, not a strand out of place, marching up my driveway with a full entourage. She's got a uniformed officer in tow, plus 2 clipboard-wielding minions. The doorbell rings twice for effect. I open up and get hit with the "I'm Vicky Sterling, president of the Riverside Meadows HOA" speech. She waves a folder with the kind of theatrical flourish that'd make a stage magician jealous. The officer, Officer Davis, supposedly looks everywhere but at me, like a kid caught lying about his homework. Vicky starts rattling off critical zoning violations, my vegetable garden, my house color, my privacy fence, like she's reading from the book of rules only she's ever seen. And then she drops the number $8,500 to fix it all. The air feels thick. Her team nods in sync like they rehearsed this in the mirror. But something's off. The letterhead on her document's a little too shiny, the county seal a little too pixelated, and her officer's badge looks like it came from a Halloween aisle. I play along. "Officer Davis, can you walk me through these statutes?" He stammers. "Just here to deliver paperwork, sir." Vicky's smile wavers, then returns tight-forced. "Due diligence is always wise, Mr. Thompson. We'll be back Monday." They back away, not so much leaving as retreating. Now, anyone who's worked in government can spot a fake form a mile away. So the second they leave, I call the city. The clerk barely lets me finish before confirming no violations, no complaints. That officer, not on the schedule, heck, not even a real badge. Vicky just tried to run a full-on grift in broad daylight, complete with forged paperwork and a costume cop. But here's the thing: once you poke a snake, you better watch your ankles. Monday rolls around. This time, a real code inspector knocks clipboard tape measure, all legit. Says there's an anonymous complaint about my shed. Checks everything, finds the paperwork. Except the city database is missing the final sign-off. Permit verification required within 10 business days, he says, slapping a red tag on my door. Welcome to bureaucratic hell by the book, but with the dial turned up to 11. Next morning, a landscaping crew shows up, trimming my hedge right down to the roots. Supervisor hands me a card, stone-faced. Questions go through our office. My garden's $300 lighter and a lot more exposed. It's a message loud and clear. By Wednesday, it's legal. Whack-a-mole process server at my old office, embarrassing as hell, papers flying everywhere. There's a lien attempt, more threats in my mailbox, and suddenly social media is abuzz with anonymous posts about the neighbor lowering property values. Kids start crossing the street to avoid my yard. Vicky's not just playing dirty, she's running the full intimidation playbook. So I get busy. Call the cops, they shrug civil matter. My lawyer, James Sullivan, is sharper, classic HOA squeeze. They want you tired, broke, or gone. I buy cameras, start logging every move, photos, recordings, timestamps. I dig into the city's survey records, HOA filings, and old property maps. And that's where the real story starts to crack open. Turns out the plat map from '87 shows my lot is not even technically inside their HOA. Better yet, the infrastructure storm drains the HOA office. The playground is all built on my land. Vicky's running the show on a stage she doesn't even own. You ever seen someone so obsessed with control they don't notice the ground crumbling beneath them? Vicky had her law license yanked for shady dealings years back, but no one on the board bothered to check. She used her legal expertise to create endless paper trails, filing nuisance reports, citing fake ordinances, sending everyone on wild goose chases. All the while she's siphoning off HOA funds. My lawyer's a whiz at forensic accounting. He uncovers $35,000 missing from the reserve, $75,000 paid to Vicky's own consulting firm, plus mountains of unpaid bills. The management company is fed up, willing to dump the HOA's debt for pennies on the dollar. That's when I realize I can stop fighting her game and just buy the whole table. I wire $25,000 to Greenleaf, the management company, and just like that, I become the HOA's biggest creditor. I now own the debt tied to their office, the playground, the whole mess they built on my land. And suddenly, Vicky's not calling the shots, I am. The next part's almost fun in a twisted way. I file complaints with the EPA about their illegal septic systems. County inspectors swoop in, issue violation after violation for unpermitted construction. I sue Vicky and the HOA for trespass, fraud, harassment, over $1 million in damages. Every letter, every phone call, every certified mail is now pushing the legal avalanche her way. Meanwhile, the residents are waking up. The HOA board fractures, one resigns in protest, another turns on Vicky, seeing the writing on the wall. Parents want answers about playgrounds and water safety. The special assessment Vicky tries to impose to cover mounting legal costs just makes folks angrier. Then comes the big day, the emergency county hearing. Room-packed people, tense, media everywhere. Vicky struts in with a lawyer phalanx and a folder full of smoke and mirrors. She gives her speech about public safety and decades of community. I let her finish. Then it's my turn, quiet, direct. Deeds, surveys, photos, bank records. Mike Anderson, my engineer buddy, lays out the whole map, $750,000 in infrastructure, all on my property, all without a single permit or easement. Then the clincher, I announce that I now hold all the HOA's debt. The room actually gasps. The EPA lays down environmental violations, facilities have to shut down pending cleanup. My lawyer details the embezzlement. Vicky's legal team asks for a delay, denied. In that silence, I finally get to say what's been on my mind. You can't build your life or your HOA on someone else's land with someone else's money. The judge drops the hammer, operations suspended, property rights, affirm criminal charges for Vicky. By the end of the day, she's escorted out, stripped of her power, her reputation, her finances, everything. It's chaos for a bit. Neighbors panic about their homes, their kids' playgrounds, the bills piling up. I meet with families, some angry, some scared, some just lost. I tell them rebuilding starts with the truth. Over the next 6 months, we hammer out a plan, legal leases for community land, environmental remediation, new management, and regular audits. Property values, which dipped at first, climb higher than ever once people realize the nightmare's over and everything's above board. Vicky pleads guilty, loses her law license for good, is forced to sell her house, and leaves the state. Her downfall becomes a warning: don't mess with people's homes, don't lie, and definitely don't steal. Looking back, the lesson is simple. Justice isn't about revenge, it's about the truth coming out, even if it takes a little paperwork and a lot of patience. You never really know who you're messing with until the quiet neighbor pulls out receipts, deeds, and a bank wire. So let me ask you, if you found out someone built on your land, are you pulling an Alex, plotting a master plan, or just calling in the bulldozers? Where's the line between fighting for what's yours and making peace with your neighbors? Drop your thoughts below, tell your own HOA horror stories. And let's talk about where justice ends and karma begins. Stay sharp out there and maybe check your property lines tonight.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.